Welcome to the Record Machine Show, a podcast featuring interviews from indie and renowned artists from all genres of music. Now, here's your host, James Michael Hollenstein.
Welcome to the Record Machine Show. I'm James Michael Hollenstein, and today's guest is an artist whose career is defined by craftsmanship, purpose, and true staying power. Jon KT is a Grammy-nominated artist, songwriter, producer, engineer, and publisher with more than 30 years in the music industry. British born and now based in Wisconsin, Jon's musical foundation was shaped by British soul, reggae, Motown, classic R&B, and jazz influences that continue to resonate through his work today. What really sets Jon apart is his commitment to authenticity over trends. His music is emotionally honest, story-driven, and built with intention. Whether he's behind the microphone or at the keyboard or behind the console, Jon KT brings experience and heart to every project. Beyond recording and performing, Jon is also a respected music business consultant and educator, helping independent artists better understand publishing, royalties, and how to build sustainable careers while maintaining creative control. Today, we're going to talk about Jon's journey, his philosophy on longevity in music, and his latest single, a reggae-inspired track that showcases his signature warmth and groove. But before we get to the interview, let's put the needle to the record and ease into the latest single from Jon KT, Silly Game.
Gave you all my heart, babe, but you played it like a song. I thought our love was forever. Turns out I was wrong. Now I'm sitting with this whiskey, trying to forget your name. Oh, love is a silly game. You said I'll always need you, but your lips don't tell the truth. I was preaching about forever. You was walking out too soon. Now my nights feel cold and empty, and my heart still calls your name. Oh, it's a silly game. You win some, but this one sure left me losing, baby. Because, you know, love is a silly game. Now my nights feel cold and empty, and my heart still calls your name. Oh, love is a silly game. Said I'll always need you, but your lips don't tell the truth. I was preaching about forever. You was walking out too soon. Now my nights feel cold and empty, and my heart still calls your name. Oh, love is a silly game. You said I'll always need you, but your lips don't tell the truth. I was preaching about forever, you was walking out too soon. Now my nights feel cold and empty, and my heart still calls your name. Oh, love is a silly game.
You just heard Silly Game by Jon KT, and I have Jon on the line for an interview. Jon, welcome to the Record Machine Show. For the listeners discovering you today, where are you originally from and where are you based now?
Well, I'm originally from the UK. Well, first of all, let me say thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm from the UK. I'm from a small town called Buxton, which is about, I want to say, 60 miles south of Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
And then grew up in the city of Leicester, which is in the Midlands. And then where I'm at now is I'm in Wisconsin. Been here for the last 26 years, yeah.
Yeah, so what brought you there?
Well, military brats.
Oh.
But my ex-wife was a military brat and got married, had kids, and then we split up and she came over here. So,
well, take us back to the beginning. How did music first come into your life and what led you to pursue it seriously?
Okay, so my story starts like when I was really little. My grandfather used to babysit us. Like if we were sick from school or something like that, Mom would drop us off with a grandpa or whatever. And he had strong ties to the U.S. His dad was from the U.S. So he used to get a lot of like bootlegged jazz music and stuff like that, like Nat King Cole Trio, Louis Armstrong, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to over there.
Mm-hmm.
And he would play it in the background, and it got to the point where, I started picking up like chopsticks and playing along on the couch, with Tupperware, playing along to some of these classic jazz songs and stuff. And then as I was growing up, I started playing in Sunday school and church and stuff, and then started off playing the drums there, then switched over, picked up guitar, and then switched over to playing keys, and then that's how it all got started.
Yeah, I read in your bio that you were influenced early on by British soul, reggae, Motown, classic R&B,
Oh, yeah.
and you just mentioned jazz as well. Who were some of the artists that shaped you most, and how do those influences still show up in your music today?
Well, I have to say my teen years were the big influence on me. I was listening to, reggae was a very fairly new genre in the 80s, especially coming out of Jamaica in the 60s. I mean, I don't know if you know the history of how reggae came about. It was first came about with ska, and then somebody slowed down the ska records, and then rocksteady started coming out of that. Mm-hmm. And then you got likes of Bob Marley, and we all know Bob Marley as coming over to the UK and Miami and bringing reggae out to the masses. But there were a lot of artists that paved the way for him, even that never really got much recognition. Mm-hmm. And how that started was they were listening to pirated radio stations coming out of Miami that were transmitting all the way to Jamaica, and they were listening to soul music. And so a lot of the soul classics that we are privy to know were actually done as reggae songs early on for the Jamaican scene. Mm-hmm. So then when it came over, I want to say to London, when Bob Marley came over and started doing world tours and stuff like that, I think it was Blackwell that was his producer at the time with Island Records. It started to get kind of a cult following in the UK. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be unusual to be walking down the street and hearing reggae music blasting out of somebody's, window or something like that. Sound systems being played on the streets. And then it started to get commercialized. Mm-hmm. And started getting in the charts with people like Jimmy Cliff, and then, my era was like Maxi Priest, UB40,
Good stuff.
And like UB40 had a big following in the UK. They were like the first major reggae band to come out of the UK that everybody would have been knew them because of the Red Red Wine song.
Right.
And actually the story behind that song is it actually had two births, because it came out in the early 80s in the UK and went to number one, but it didn't get traction in the US until a couple of years later. So it had a second life, and then they launched them internationally then.
Didn't Neil Diamond write that song?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And what happened is Neil Diamond had written it, like I was saying, reggae artists were covering these songs, and UB40 didn't know in the beginning that Neil Diamond wrote that song. They knew it from a reggae artist from Jamaica.
Right.
It wasn't until they recorded it and it got big, then they were like, Neil Diamond wrote that, you know?
Yeah, isn't that something else?
So, yeah.
Because you hear that a lot, all the time. I mean, even like, when some of these artists sample, the music from like the 60s and the 70s and stuff like that, these kids, they don't know where it came from. They think they wrote it.
Well, that's like when Kanye West sampled Paul McCartney.
Right.
And then all the kids were like, Paul McCartney's going to blow up now that he's been sampled. It's like, you know who he is.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny. That was funny shit there. Funny. But right. Neil Diamond, he wrote that song, that's for sure. Yeah, he wrote a lot of good songs.
Yeah, but we see, and the thing about it is a lot of them songs that were done in the reggae format over in Jamaica, and then UB40 was bringing them to life and bringing them back to the masses as reggae versions, because they did another. So UB40 did Labor of Love, which is what that song came off of, which were actually UB40's versions of reggae songs, probably not realizing that they were actually cover songs already. Mm-hmm. So then what they did is they did Labor of Love 2, then they did Labor of Love 3, and they did another Neil Diamond song, Holly Holy.
Yeah, good song.
They did that one too on Labor of Love 3. And what they were doing was they were actually giving credit to reggae artists, because a lot of reggae artists were not getting paid.
Yeah.
So they were taking their music and putting it out in the mainstream and getting them their royalties.
That's cool.
So that's what the Labor of Love series was doing.
Nice. Yeah, and you mentioned Maxi Priest. I loved him. He was great.
Oh, yeah, that guy's still going.
He's still making stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out, because I haven't heard.
Yeah,
they don't play much Maxi Priest where I am.
Right. So Maxi Priest in the 80s was really big when he did the cover of Wild World. Mm-hmm. I think that was Cat Stevens, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cat Stevens song?
Yep.
And then he did Some Guys Have All the Luck, and I think that was a Rod Stewart song.
Yes, it was.
And he went on to have a couple of major hits himself. I mean, he's done some pretty good stuff. He's worked with Shaggy and people like that, and he's still going. He's still doing stuff.
Yeah, Close to You was a great one, right?
That was a great album.
I love that song.
Album. Yeah.
Well, you have more than 30 years in the industry. What have you learned about longevity and surviving, not just creatively, but professionally in music?
Well, I have so many different facets of what I do. So I started out as a musician, and then found out very early on I had stage fright. I froze when I was on stage, so I then took it to where I was doing more producing.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go out in front of the crowd. If I ever was to perform on stage, I'd have to sit behind everybody. I'm starting to come out of that, but it took a lot of years to get over that for some reason. I don't know what it was, but I don't like the spotlight. And I think that when you're on stage, you're right in the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
So music is a very personal thing for me. So I like to write and produce and stuff like that and collaborate with others. So, and then what happened was I started to notice there was, when the internet started taking over, digital streaming and stuff like that, I went back to school and got my business degree in entertainment business.
Nice.
To learn all about, how to get royalties, streaming royalties, mechanical licensing, publishing, how to set up your own publishing, distribution, the difference between all of that stuff. And so what I've been doing in the last couple of years is basically educating people on how to not leave money on the table.
Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
waste money, right?
Oh yeah. So I mean, you can write a song,
Mm-hmm.
you put it up on Spotify, and if you don't do anything, it's only going to sit there. Spotify, I see people think that distribution is promotion. Well, it's a tool in promotion. It's somewhere that you can put your stuff so that you can share it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that are not, familiar with the industry, it's not a case of you just put a song up and, distribution does the rest. It's not a label. So it's educating people on how to use the tools, what you can collect. So if you do put stuff up on iTunes and people buy it, you'll get the money through your distribution. You'll collect the money that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that money is sales. Now there's another revenue that comes from streaming, like Mechanical License Collective is what I use for mine. When you register as a publisher, not a songwriter, but as a publisher, there's an extra revenue stream coming from your songs being played on these streaming platforms and radio stations and such like that. So it's just educating people on, how to do that, how to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows. Not everybody cares how to do it.
Right.
But it's handy to have if you're going to try and make something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are people that get scammed, right? They pay money to people that promise them stuff and they don't deliver, right?
Absolutely. And that's one of my big pet peeves is we as musicians have to be really vigilant, because in our pursuit of trying to make it, and this is something I've learned very early on, a scam is only put in place when there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are saying, hey, can you tell me how to get my songs out? Someone's going to latch onto that, and they're going to send you an email saying, hey, your song, I just listened to it, and I can get it out to all these people if you just send me this amount of money.
Right.
And they're like, oh, this sounds awesome. This is what I need. Well, then you pay them the money, and they do nothing.
Right. Yeah, I hear a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a shark-infested waters out there.
Yeah, it's a shame, ain't it?
Yep, absolutely.
You wear many hats, an artist, songwriter, producer, engineer, and even publisher. How do those roles work together when you're creating a song or a project?
Well, I write first. As I'm getting older, it's getting harder. I know that because, if your mom says, I like your song, that's all I need now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not writing music for anybody else anymore. I'm not chasing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
But during COVID, I was telling you about the stage fright thing, right? So I wrote a lot of songs that I collaborated with other people because I just didn't feel comfortable standing in front of the mic and singing.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID happened, I locked myself away in my studio, and I thought, well, maybe if I took that same mindset, what UB40 did with the Labor of Love albums, and do some cover songs, but do them my way.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back into the vault there of like Eddie Arnold, Frank Sinatra, and I started listening and learning all these songs, and then started to, produce the tracks in my style that people would know. But then I thought, well, it'd be unfair to ask somebody else to sing them songs, so I'm just going to do it myself. So I locked myself away, and I came up with a full album full of songs that were good enough to put out. So I released that album. And so what I did is I used that album as more of a capstone project to practice what I was preaching to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you can release cover songs. You get a license to do that through distribution. Mm-hmm. You can register them with a PRO for that when they are played on radio stations and stuff like that. You can release them under your own publishing because they're your works, as long as you credit the songwriters. Because I didn't sample anybody, so I didn't need a license for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so then basically that's where the publishing came in. I got myself my own publishing company, set up my own production company, and set up my own label, basically. Mm-hmm. So I could do everything myself. So I didn't sound like these people like, oh, well, I know a guy that's got a label. I know a guy who's got publishing. I know a guy who's got this. I could actually speak to the actual process because I've done it. You know, I have the label, I have the publishing company, I have the production company, and I have my own studio. So that's how it all fits together, really.
Yeah, makes sense. You've maintained full creative control as an independent artist. Why has independence been so important to you throughout your career?
Because I don't like being told what to do. well, because, you know, when you start going chasing after labels and stuff like that, people say, why have you never been signed? Well, I never chased that. Because, you know, once you get signed to a label and the label starts handing over money, if they think you're good enough, they will dictate every single move you make. Because really, you're performing for them first before you're creating anything.
Right.
Because they're putting the money up. And you just have to look at the mainstream. How many bands had like massive hits but had no money? They had the money up front from the, they were drinking, partying and all that kind of stuff. Some of them are probably still recouping now, because they didn't have the good business sense. They just wanted to create music and they thought the label was going to take care of them. The label hired them to write music and make them money.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why independence was very important to me.
Yeah. I could see why. And not every artist needs to be signed by a label to be successful, correct?
Absolutely.
As long as you're happy and you're making good stuff, right?
Correct. That's exactly it. First, I always tell people first, if you come to me and you say to me, hey, I want to write a hit, conversation is pretty much over, because that's not even how you start. Nobody goes in the studio and goes, I'm going to write a hit today. That's just not going to happen. You don't determine what the hit is.
Right.
The consumer does.
Yeah.
There are labels that have writers, 15 or 14, people sitting around writing a song, the next hit for somebody, on a label. But even they go through scrutiny. That first one doesn't get picked. They could probably write 15 songs and they only get 2, pitched to somebody else. So it's the wrong attitude to have when they're like, oh, I've written all these songs, I just want to get them out to this person to record them. Yeah, there's probably a million people that are trying to do the same thing.
Right.
But you're not in the same room as them. So that's why it's important to be independent and create, because you love it. If you love it, you've already a success. Whether somebody else likes it, that's, you can't determine that.
Right, but it makes it sweeter though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about songs. Your latest single, Silly Game, has a warm reggae-inspired groove, and Over the Blue Moon highlights your soulful, story-driven writing. What are the stories behind Silly Game and Over the Blue Moon, and what inspired these songs?
So, I hadn't written a song in quite a long time, and I was going through some archives, and I thought, I was listening to some stuff that I'd done, and I was like, well, maybe I should put stuff out. And it goes back to what we were just talking about. It's like I was trying to feed something that had already been done, and it was like, I got to just come up with something original, something different. And I've always been known for a little bit of a soul reggae pattern anyway. But with Over the Blue Moon, that was kind of a play. I was having a conversation with my wife, because it always baffles me how a person from one country can come to another country and meet somebody, and you didn't even grow up in the same culture, but you have so much in common.
Right.
And so Over the Blue Moon was written about, like, the term every say that once in a blue moon something happens, right? Well, once in a blue moon it sounded too cliche to be put in a song, so I thought maybe Over the Blue Moon, I found you and the sky is a deeper blue, it's like, it's just talking about that things just happen out of the blue.
Right.
So that's where that one came from. Silly Games, that was written, I was going to do it as a duet, but the person that was going to sing it kept stringing me along, so I was like, okay, I'll just do it myself. So it was kind of it could be taken multiple different ways, actually, but love is a silly game, right? You could be talking to somebody, you think you're in love with them, and all of a sudden they're walking out the door, and they didn't have the same feelings for you that you thought that you was showing towards them. So that's where that song came from. But I also wrote it about a personal situation of like, you know, with kids, when your kids grow up, they grow up in a different generation than what we did, and they don't have the same outlook on life that we did. They have different opportunities. Like, for instance, the web is taken over, where they probably get their advice from the web before they take it from the parents.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a two-edged sword. I was writing it from that kind of a perspective,
Right.
of like, you know, I love you, but you know, it's a silly game, you know. So that's where that came from.
Both excellent songs. Great job on both of them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Beyond music itself, you're very active in artist education and consulting. What are some of the biggest misconceptions independent artists have about publishing and royalties?
Biggest misconception is they think that distribution is royalties. That's sales, right? So when somebody says, "Oh, DistroKid is paying me, you know, $10 or whatever a month, that's my royalties. That's all I get from, you know, all these streams." It's like, no, that's not royalties. That's sales and streaming revenue from advertising or something like that. The money that they're talking about that they should be getting, they should be using, because if they, you know, people go, "I'm registered with BMI and I'm registered with ASCAP." That's the biggest misconception right there, because I say to them, "What are you registered as?" "I'm registered as a songwriter." Well, I'll just hate to tell you, but the songwriter gets paid last. The publisher gets paid first. So when you open up an account with them, you need to register as a publisher and a songwriter. 2 different IPI numbers. When you want something to be played in a movie, or you put it in for a licensing opportunity to be in a commercial or something like that, the first thing they are looking for is the publishing number, which is the International Standard Works Code. It's an ISWC. Now, distribution issues the ISRC, which is the International Standard Recording Code. Think of it like the registration of your car. The publishing, the ISWC, is the registration. The ISRC is the VIN number.
Interesting.
So that's what it is. The recording itself, International Recording Code, that's the VIN number of the song that you just released. That means if somebody goes and puts up another song with that VIN number, they're going to be like, "No, you can't use that code because it's already associated to this vehicle over here." Okay? Now, the registration, which is the International Works Code, that's how somebody finds who the car is owned by. So when the music supervisor from a movie or a commercial says, "Hey, we need a certain song, this, that, and the other," go on to BMI and see what's available out there. Go and listen to this music, and then go find out who the publisher is on this, because we need to contact them. Okay? So then what happens is, that's where the negotiation comes in. So the music supervisor's like, "We're going to use this. We need you to take the vocals out. We need an instrumental version. We need a stems version. And we also need a 30-second clip and a 60-second clip." Right? So what I'm saying is you better own the masters, and you better have the actual recording session to be able to do that, because that's one of the things they're going to ask you for.
Wow.
And then they'll come back and they'll say, "Okay, it's going to be on a DVD, it's going to be streamed on Netflix, and it's going to be on TV every, 6 months." So they go by the union then, and they say, "Okay, you get this amount of money for it being on a DVD, you get this amount of money for it being on TV, you get this amount of money for it streaming," and that's where the negotiation is. But that's all through the publisher.
Wow. So you learned all of that when you went to take that course?
Absolutely. I went to Full Sail, got my master's in business. Yeah.
That's interesting. I guess a lot of people, they make the mistake of not doing all that, and they probably screw themselves out of some money and opportunities, right?
And definitely out of opportunities, because if you go onto these music libraries that are looking for these songs or whatever, and you go, oh, have you ever seen it? You might have seen it in some of these Facebook groups where somebody's like, hey, got a pitching opportunity. Well, first of all, what I would suggest any musician to do is go and look at what it takes to pitch a song. Don't just put it up on Facebook and say, hey, go check out my song on this streaming platform and then contact me. They won't contact you. They're contacting the publisher.
Right.
And so that's why it's important to register as a publisher on BMI and ASCAP.
Interesting. Yeah, so people that are listening to the show right now, you're getting a lot of good tips from Jon here today.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. You've shared your journey through your autobiography, Escaping the Silence, the Jon KT story.
Yep.
What made you feel it was important to tell your story in that format?
Well, I've always been asked the question, like, where you from? How did you get into music? I'm just talking about everyday people that, know that I do music and stuff like that. And so it got to a point where I've done enough in my time that I thought, well, maybe I should write a book about it. So then people could say, tell us about you. I could say, just read the book, So I just took some time out this last year to do that.
Awesome. And now where is the book available?
Amazon, Apple Books, Kindle.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, some of the stuff that we discussed throughout this interview, that's all included in there, all the tips and everything?
No, I didn't go into the tips. I did talk about how I got to be knowledgeable about the tips, but if people do have questions, they can always contact me. I'm always active on Facebook or whatever, You can shoot me a message. But I will say this. Mm-hmm. If you're going to shoot me a message, make sure you have your ducks in a row before, because my answer may not right. Gel with you if it's like hey, get my song on a playlist. They'd be like, delete.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. You should maybe work on another book, maybe like with the tips that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually.
You seem like you have a lot of knowledge. A lot of artists would benefit from your knowledge, I would imagine. Yeah,
one thing I will share with artists too. If you want to know this kind of stuff, I mean, it's not like it's a secret. So it's like you just got to know where to look. And I have no problem helping anybody out. You can talk to anybody that I've connected with. They'll tell you. I'll help them do this stuff. Get their artist pages set up on these different streaming platforms. I'm just going to drop this little tidbit to people, right? This is very important. If you're going to release a single on some kind of distribution, make sure you claim your artist pages on the streaming platforms, which is YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon. And you can do that through your distributor. And the reason why I say that is because when you release this one song, the streaming platforms will create a platform for you. It won't be verified. It'll just be, this song has been released by such and such, and this is the artist name. Now, if you go back a week later and release another song, and you don't have your artist pages, they're going to set up another artist profile with that song on it. So before you know it, you're going to have an artist profile for all of your songs, and they're not going to be connected.
Wow.
So you want to make sure you claim them right at the beginning, so that you can keep using the same artist profile and get them verified. And it doesn't cost anything to get verified. So
yeah, that's great advice. But like I said, you should write another book, man, with those tips in it. I think you would offer a lot of good information to a lot of artists that are not familiar with those techniques.
Yeah, I think I probably could. Yeah.
I mean, how long does it take to write a book like that? And then do you have to find somebody to publish it, or did you self-publish your own book?
I self-published my book. The reason why I self-published it, because again, I wanted to know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I went out and researched it. It was a lot of work, but I went out and researched it. Yeah. So yeah, it wouldn't take long. I mean, I have all the information. I've got all of the presentations and stuff like that I could probably do that. But that'd be a good idea. Tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Navigating independent artistry.
Yeah, and you can publish that through Amazon as well too. Don't they have like a service on there that you could do it yourself?
Yeah, well, that's what I got. I have the KP, the is it KDP through Amazon, which is where you can self-publish right there. So you basically do all the work on your computer, like formatting it and all that correctly, making the cover correctly, and then you upload it there and they will publish it for you.
Nice. Yeah, you have like 30 years experience, Grammy nominated. You've won numerous awards too, right?
Yeah. Over the years, yeah.
Recently, you won several awards from the 2025 Homegrown Music Awards, right?
Yeah, that was a shock. That was. I didn't even realize I was nominated. And then all of a sudden I got these awards. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you got a couple, right?
Yeah, I got, I think 4.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you write music and stuff like that and you win awards for it, I mean, that's got to be a great feeling knowing that, people out there are enjoying your music, right?
Yeah, when you get nominated for awards, it's flattering. It means that somebody's taken the time to do that.
Yeah.
I understand that there's a lot of award shows out there where it's self-nominated, and a lot of them where you buy your own awards. You're paying for them.
Right.
I try to stay away from that because I don't know. I don't have the money to throw into buy myself an award. First of all, some of them are expensive, but like I said, when somebody nominates you and then you end up winning, it kind of justifies what you're doing. Yeah, it is flattering.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Looking at today's music landscape, what advice would you give to artists who want to build a sustainable career without losing their identity?
Building a career starts. I mean, it depends on the person. I mean, it's like the personal drive. First of all, do it for the love, right? Love of the craft. Learn your craft, and don't demand recognition so much before putting in the work. I'm a strong believer that if somebody sends me a message and says, "Check out my new song," I want to know why they want me to check it out.
Yeah.
What is it that I'm listening for that I haven't already heard? What is it that you've done that nobody else has tried? And what made you so ballsy to send it to me and say, check it out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't check it out. What I'm saying is it's all in the how you approach people. People approach you because of your name. People approach you because of your success, and they think that if they friend you or befriend you or whatever, and you listen to their music and tell them that, oh, this is wonderful,
right?
That they've made it, and that's the wrong impression. Because I more than likely would respond by saying, well, the first verse should be the second verse. How did you get from the inside of the house to the outside of the house? In the songwriting context. Right. A lot of people don't break that down. So it's like, and what's the musical structure here? What were you going for? Is it a rock song? Is it a pop song? Is it a country song? What is it? So I always say to people, when you walk in the room, it doesn't matter if it's a music room or anything like that. If you're going in a room and you don't know people in the room, the one thing you don't do is you don't just walk in and go, hey, my name is such and such, and this is what I do. You should all check me out. They don't turn around and go, who the F is that?
Right.
And who is he telling that I need to go and check out?
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is network. Start a conversation.
Right.
Find some common ground. And then say, hey, I've been working on something. Would you mind taking a listen and giving me some feedback? Or tell me what you think. That kind of thing. Yeah. I just don't like that hard bang the door down with
play my music.
I'm supposed to stop doing what I'm doing and listen to what you're doing while I'm creating something else,
Right. Yeah, you see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I know I do.
And everybody's got their own level of where they want to be in the industry. And I'm happy to meet them wherever they are. But first impressions count.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you don't want to have somebody jamming something down your throat. It's the way you approach someone is very important, I would think.
Correct.
You don't want to be put on the spot or, pushed into listening to something. That's not the way you go about it.
Well, I posted something up today about, musicians are not buying other musicians' music. Mm-hmm. We create. We are building a network, and we may not have the same kind of network because we make two different styles of music. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that any one person has to be stuck in one genre. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you are making a country song and I've got a hip-hop playlist, sending that to me saying put that on your playlist is probably not going to work out for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like knowing the room, knowing your audience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's them little tidbits that I keep putting out just to see if they hit, because there are some, sometimes most of them posts that I put is because of something that's just happened in my inbox. Mm-hmm. Somebody's hit me up with something and I've just deleted it because it's like, first of all, you didn't even get my name spelled right. And second of all, what you asked me didn't make any sense to, like, we didn't have any conversation going. So what are you asking me?
Right. Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. It's like, they just like send links and stuff and they don't even say hello. They just drop it in my messenger,
Yeah, and it's the most jarring message you get. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you like introduce yourself, like say, hi, John, I'm such and such. This is what I do. Would you mind taking a listen to this and tell me what you think? Like you said earlier, not just drop a link and be like, waiting for you to reply back how great it is. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, right.
It's like you don't even know who you're talking to.
First of all, I think on a handful of people have probably gotten a positive response from me. Like when I say positive, I mean man, that was really good. I want to know where the rest of your stuff is. I want to listen to it.
Right.
I've had responses like that for people, mm-hmm. but they've done the due diligence of like, hey man, I'm working on something, and I just want your input on it. And I say, do you want my honest input, or are you just looking for like hey, this is good? You know what I mean? Because not everybody's looking for constructive criticism.
Right.
And, as a musician, unfortunately, we're geared that way. Mm-hmm. We do offer constructive criticism. Does it mean that you have to go and change it? No, it doesn't. What it means is how I'm hearing it is differently than how you're hearing it. And I'm hearing a different interpretation of it as being a musician, a songwriter, and a producer. Not saying that you have to go and make all the changes or suggestions that I'm saying, but you asked me for my opinion, I'm giving it to you, and hopefully it helps.
Right.
I would welcome people to give me criticism, like constructive.
Right.
It's like a conversation. It's how you build rapport with people, right?
Exactly.
So it's like if somebody said, I don't like that part right there, maybe you should try this. I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, for the listeners who want to follow your journey or check out your music or connect with you online, where can they find your website or social media?
Well, my social media is Jon KT. My Instagram is Jon KT Official. I try to keep everything as Jon KT. I'm on Bandcamp. I'm on SoundCloud. And you'll probably find different music on Bandcamp as you will on SoundCloud. I use them as they are supposed to be used. So, like, if I don't care if somebody rips me off, I put it up on SoundCloud. You know what I mean? But like most of my music is up on Apple Music, YouTube Music. You can find me on there. And Spotify. It's all over. I have a website, but I haven't been keeping up to date on it. Mm-hmm. But you can find the link on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. It's right there in the
about section, right?
Yeah, the pinned section. Yeah, I have a one link serves all kind of a thing. It's a flow page, Jon KT at flow page. When you click on that, it'll give you all the links to everywhere.
Nice. And you spell Jon Jon, so people know that it's Jon and then capital K, capital T, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Before we wrap things up, is there anything we didn't talk about today that you'd like to mention or share with the listeners?
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to interview me.
Well, you're welcome, man.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I know we've been trying to catch up for a while now, but I mean, I'm really pleased we did. Yeah, I'm working on music, and I am actually working on a seminar to go out and, you know, and I've been thinking about doing a live stream of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, which is going to be like introducing, you know, people to the tips and the tricks, what we were talking about.
Right.
But now after this conversation, I'm thinking a book might be a good idea to go along with that.
Yeah.
So thanks for that suggestion, by the way.
You're welcome.
So I'll have you write the forward in it now.
That would be, I think that would be a good business decision for you to sell those tips. Like, 'cause a lot of people don't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. Yeah.
Get that.
So I guess the listeners should just watch out for that then, because it's coming now.
Yeah.
So,
and you got a lot of music coming out too, right?
Yeah, I'm working on some stuff. I've got quite a few sessions going right now with some new stuff going. For me, you know, as time goes on, it's like I don't spend as much time in the studio as I used to, but I'm trying to get back in as much as possible. So I have been writing some new stuff because I want to release an album. I've been saying this for the last couple of years, but it's time to release an album of original stuff. So,
You working with any artists?
Right now, I'm not.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I kind of dropped off on the collaborations thing because, like I said, you know, when you meet people where they're at, sometimes you leave them where they're at. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. You know, when you have somebody writing the music, producing the music, creating the music, doing all of the distribution and all that kind of stuff, it gets a little old when somebody takes credit for the whole production when all they did was send you a vocal track.
Right.
So I've had a little bit of a come to Jesus moment on that and thought, you know what? Why don't I just do it myself?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Now, you mentioned earlier that you have like a little bit of stage fright. That would you get like panic attacks and stuff like that when you?
Yeah, I do. I don't like. It's like I've tried in the last couple of years to get up on stage and perform. Now I can walk in a room and present at the front of the room because I know what I'm talking about. But I think the biggest fear for me on the stage is, what if I make a mistake?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I've just never been able to get past that thing. And it's always like worrying about something that's never happened. You know, it's not happened yet, should I say. That's what I mean. It's like you put that pressure on yourself. So I've been working with a couple of people that are trying to get me to get up there a little bit more. And I think once I get in my comfort zone, I feel like, you know, I'm well rehearsed and up there doing my thing. Maybe it'll come.
Yeah, the more you do it, I think the more comfortable you'll be. It's like with anything, you know? Like, I mean, I remember when I used to do like live gigs and stuff like that, I used to shit my pants when I had to like go up in front of like 1,000 people, you know what I mean? It's like,
that's exactly it.
And they're all staring at you and it's like they're waiting, you know, waiting for your next move. And it's like, you're so afraid that you're going to mess up, you know?
Right.
But
I always think that, you know, maybe I should break my teeth by going out in front of 10,000 people, looking every one of them in the eye and just hitting the triangle on the one.
That would be funny.
Yeah, just to see what happens. If they laugh, I'll carry on. I think one of the funniest moments I could tell you about that, I wasn't even playing, so I was at a wedding, and somebody put one of my songs on. The DJ put one of my songs on, and what he said was, the person that's singing it is in the room tonight. So everybody was looking around, and then I got called onto the dance floor by the wedding party because they were the ones that requested it. And my phone wouldn't stop blowing up.
Wow.
And so I was like, I'm at a wedding. Why is my phone going off? Well, people in the room was Shazamming the song.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's what was happening. So all these people in the room was Shazamming the song, and it's like, oh my God.
Trying to figure out who's on the guest list.
Who's this person on who's in the room?
That's a great story.
It was pretty funny.
You must have a lot of like cool stories from your experience over the years. That could be another book too.
Yeah, the fun things I was thinking about making a lyric book. Because you know, people will put their lyrics up on Facebook, and it's like, you know, don't use them or whatever. And it's like, well, you just put them on a public thing. What did you do to protect them?
Right.
You know? So what I was thinking is like, because I've got all my stuff, you know, protected or whatever, I could probably just do a lyrics, like do the songs and then put the story behind how the song came about.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a book like that, but I'm thinking tips and tricks should come out first.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you should do that. I think you would be very successful with that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like on my to-do list.
Yeah. How long did it take to do the other one?
Oh, a lifetime. Well, I started off very young, you know. So no, I've been collecting stuff for quite a while on that. It was, I think, to put it all together and write it out the way I wanted it to tell the story. Took a couple of months.
Yeah, that's not too bad though.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean, you work on this book, you could probably have it done maybe by the fall, maybe Christmas time next year even.
Absolutely.
You know?
Probably could. Yeah, probably could.
Yeah, make a good stocking stuffer, or you could put it right under the tree, you know?
Probably keep the tree up by all the tips and tricks in there.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
It's really been great chatting with you, man. I'm glad I had you on the show tonight.
I appreciate you having me, man. I really do.
Yeah, we got to do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe when you put that book out, I could have you back on the show.
Well, you might have to do it before that because you got to write the foreword in it now.
Yeah, maybe.
You came up with it, man. So
yeah.
let's do it.
I'll do that.
Yeah, cool.
You know? Well, listen, brother, I want to wish you the best of luck with all the music that you got coming out and the books. And I don't know if you got any shows planned or anything like that, but, you know, let's definitely stay in touch. And I'd love to have you back on the show again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm open to that. I appreciate you taking the time out to do it, too.
Well, you're welcome to come back on here anytime to promote whatever you got going on, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You take care and enjoy the rest of your night, all right?
You too.
All right.
All right. Good talking to you. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Jon, thank you again for spending time with me today. It's been a real pleasure hearing your story from your roots in British soul and reggae to building a 30-plus year career grounded in authenticity, independence, and purpose. Your perspective on both the creative and business sides of music is inspiring, and your commitment to helping other artists truly stands out. Conversations like this are exactly what the Record Machine Show is all about, celebrating the artist, the stories, and the music that lasts. But before we wrap things up, let's close the show with another soulful track from Jon KT. This is Over the Blue Moon. I'm James Michael Hollenstein, and this has been The Record Machine Show. Until next time, keep those records spinning.
I've searched the stars, I've chased the tide, but never found the love so wide. You lit the dark, you healed the pain. Now I never go back again. Every wish I made on lonely nights landed in your arms where it feels so right. Over the blue moon, I found you, where the rarest love shines through. Over the blue moon, it's true. I was always meant for you. You speak in colors I've never seen, a melody caught in between. Every heartbeat sings your name, and nothing can could ever feel the same. When the world falls quiet and stars align, I know your soul was meant for mine. Over the blue moon, I found you, where the rarest love shines through. Over the blue moon, it's true, I was always meant for you. Maybe it's fate, maybe it's time, but your heart forever beats with mine. Over the blue moon, I found you, and the sky's a deeper blue. Over the blue moon, it's true, I was always meant for you.
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Hall Productions, all rights reserved. For distribution information or to add this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.